So then you started to evolve to not be, I guess, scared of it and to kind of like work with it. And then when did tarot come in? And when did this like dedication where you're like, all right, this is like going to be my life and I'm going to learn about crystals and I'm going to learn about tarot and I'm going to, share my gifts with the world?
Tarot for me started when, I say over 16 years ago, but I've lost track of time. But it started when I started rejecting the idea, believe it or not, of God and just like what was real and where did I fit in? So my mom was supportive of me in that way. And I went to go get a reading one day and it was just so good. Florida, it was my first reading. It was in Florida, and Florida is this kind of like hub of, supporting psychic energy. New Orleans obviously is the same thing. There's really you'll find a lot of readers down there. And we just happened to stumble across a really good one that we stuck with for a long time. So she inspired me. And then I was working on just being comfortable as a girl. Like I just didn't feel comfortable, in just who I was and also as a girl and my femininity, like just being comfortable with that. So the first tarot deck that I got was the Goddess Tarot. And I would just shuffle with it and I would just question like, what is real? Like, is God real? Am I real? What what is real about me? What is real about spirit? What is real about my experience? Is my depression real? Is my anxiety real? Like, what is this? And I was using the tarot as a tool, which then ended up opening the door for me to, realize certain gifts that I had about myself that maybe I should strengthen them and that I wasn't weird, that these experiences were real for me and that in the right environment, that they would be supported. And then I could eventually be comfortable with that enough to be able to share that with others and to be proud of it ultimately and, do what it is that I'm doing now. So it was interesting.
Yeah, that's amazing. Yeah.
So I know a lot of women in our community have been really getting into tarot, whether they are receiving readings or, doing a daily pull. So I would love to kind of get into how they can, one, use their own deck and get closer to their deck and really like cultivate a relationship with it. I had a friend actually yesterday, I gave him a deck and had this like quote unquote bad experience. And it was hard for me to articulate that, one, it takes time, and two, a bad card could have an alternate message. So I'd love to kind of dig in to, the various messages and ways in which you can get closer to the deck.
So what I love is the fact that you said it's like building a relationship, because that is key with everything. It's a relationship. And whether you're, there's almost like this microwave society that we have where it's like, I did a video earlier today on spirit guides, like how to connect with your animal spirit guides and what that's going to look like. And in that video, I mentioned like, it's like we live in this microwave society where we're like, okay, tell me what this is. And you just accept surface value. And what happens is that you're not developing a relationship with yourself. You're not developing a relationship with God, the divine, your ancestors, your spirit guides, and they are trying to connect with you. And the tarot is only a tool for them to communicate with you and through to you. And it just makes it easy for that to happen. But the only way to do that is by practicing and by putting yourself in a space where you prioritize it and you make it a part of your ritual. If you don't, then you're going to get out of it exactly what you put in, which is just, I don't know, like it makes sense, but it doesn't make sense. Or maybe you give it too much and it's not that serious. Maybe the message is a little bit more simple, but you wouldn't know that because you didn't develop the relationship. So when it comes to the tarot too, like when you're developing that relationship, it needs to be just as committed as it would, in my opinion, in any important relationship. How important is this relationship with you? Or how important is this relationship to you? And if it's very important and it is something that you feel you want to incorporate in your life on a day-to-day level and take it to the next level, whether for yourself or for your children or for your friends, or maybe have a business with it, I don't know. But if that's the case, then you need to invest. And I think that pulling a card every single day is the best way to do it. I have those plastic storage bins, like gallon, just filled with journals of tarot pulls, tarot readings. So yeah, I have journals of like books bound of just like my daily tarot pulls. And then when I wasn't pulling and writing it in the journal, I started tweeting like, this is what I put out. So there was a time, the date, there was the timestamp, and it was just an archive almost. I don't know if I said that word correctly, but just, recording of at this moment, this is what I was going through. And you can make, even as something as simple as that, it's you putting, a little coin into it, and every penny adds up over time, and it makes a difference. And also using Twitter, I feel, is so awesome, because especially if you make it like a private thing, you don't have to share it with the rest of the world. It can be something just for you. But you can see, like, on this day, I pulled the Devil card, and I pulled the Tower card, and I pulled the Death card. And, I just kept pulling it every day. And instead of me for a week, and instead of me panicking, I just stayed open to it. And then a week and a half later, I saw that I broke free from an addiction, because I lost, a chunk of money because of my, this thing that has a hold on me. And then afterwards, then you have the Judgment card and the Ace of Cups, and you just keep on pulling that. And it's like, because of this moment where I broke free, which it seems negative, but it's actually one of the best things that can ever happen to you. That being said, there's no such thing. I always have to say this. There's no such thing as all bad. Like, the tarot is not bad. It's, if the person is using it as bad, then your tarot is going to be bad, because the tarot is a reflection of you. But, and what it is that you're trying to pull in. But there is no such thing as bad or good. It just is what it is. It's not, and that goes outside of tarot. That's in spirit and the universe, laws of the universe. There is no all good, all bad. It just is what it is. There's shadow, and then there's light. The shadow sides are not, a bad thing to look at or to examine. In fact, it's a good thing to embrace it. The same thing with the light. We're so easy being like, this is the good of me. And then being like, this is the bad. Just don't look at that. Leave that there. Don't look. Just look at.
I'm working with that now. Yes.
I'm blissed out. I'm zen. Like, no, it's okay to be have those moments of chaotic, because that's our chaos, because that's what this looks like. That's what being a human is. So, and tarot is a reflection of that ultimately. But you'll see that as you develop the relationship between you and the cards.
Thank you so much for tuning in to Morning Microdose by Almost 30.
We hope you enjoyed waking up.
As always, we encourage you to take what resonates and leave the rest. If you enjoyed this trip, tune into the full episode on the Almost 30 podcast. All episode information can be found in the show notes.
Make sure to subscribe, and if this becomes a part of your morning routine, be sure to share it with a friend. We have new inspiring doses Monday through Friday. Follow us on Instagram at Morning Microdose, and follow Almost 30 at Almost 30 Podcast.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you in the vortex.